its guarded doors, inside I would be forever safe? I blinked at him. He stared at me. Silently, I debated ways to explain my desire without sounding demented. Could I confess that lately I felt like I was living in the middle of an icy lake, cracks everywhere, frozen in panic? At any moment I could be plunged into its frigid depths. Was managing emotional terror part of a doorman's purview? Or was he primarily there for the dry cleaning delivery? "Your dog, ma'am." The doorman flicked his head. I wheeled round. Lola had followed her nose into the middle of the street. "Come!" I yelled. She didn't come. Of course not. She never came when I called, only when I didn't want her underfoot, like when I was searching the floor for a dropped Xanax. Thankfully, we were on Hudson Crescent, a curved sliver of leafy street tucked into a nook between Riverside Drive and West End Avenue. A patch of green separated the crescent from the drive, so Lola wasn't in danger of being flattened by a bus or a speeding cab. Hardly anyone even walked on the crescent, which was why I'd taken this route into the park. So I could hide. So I could cry behind my sunglasses. Nonetheless, I flew down the steps into the street to grab Lola's leather leash. She had no car savvy, none. If a car did decide to loop off the drive and onto the crescent, Lola would stare at it with her stoner eyes, annoyed by the rubbery smell of its tires. With Lola's leash firmly in hand, I pulled her onto the sidewalk. Stupidly, I said, "Good girl," even though she'd been bad. The doorman had stepped outside. I didn't want him to think I was one of those emotional wrecks who spank a child or a dog out of fear. "Heel," I added, yanking Lola in line. Standing like a sentry on your top granite step, the doorman crossed his arms over his chest. His body language said, "Move along, missy." I opened my mouth to protest, to tell him I only looked like a dog walker with my dusty sneakers and saggy denim shorts. But suddenly, I saw myself as he saw me, a middle-aged woman with love handles, a buyer of clothes from Target because, well, why not? A person with no business in his building. What had I been thinking? A building like you would never go for a woman in my current state. Silently, I cursed myself for not wearing lipstick, for not brushing my hair or maybe even my teeth that morning. How had I let things unravel so? With a lovesick sigh, I flapped a melancholy wave and moved along. Lola squirted a spritz of pee onto the base of your ornate streetlight, telling him in her own way that we would be back. "Good girl," I muttered under my breath. We walked through the crescent to the path in the green that led to the drive. There we waited for the light, before crossing the street into Riverside Park. As we ventured deeper into the trees, I felt our connection tug at my back. Was that stained glass beyond your lobby? Had I seen a brass railing? Did front apartments have a mind-blowing view of the river? Once more I felt the exhilaration of desire. Lola pressed her nose into a clump of ryegrass and inhaled. I sighed. After it was all over, maybe we could live in that pristine place, with a doorman in a bow tie to keep unpleasantness outside your wrought iron door. I'd forget the heartache of our trip to Spain, the incident that had started the downhill tumble. I'd forgive myself for looking away when so many signs were in front of my face. My messy life would be tidy again. By the end of our walk that day, I was sure, determined even. 1118 Hudson Crescent was where Lola and I would relocate. After, so I could remember the inferno of love. Chapter 2. It's true what they say about light in Spain. It's unlike any other, especially late in the day when a persimmon sun begins to melt. Paul and I watched the colors of Malaga change from pink to purple to red on the patio of our rented cottage. We drank glasses of cherry-colored wine straight from the